Hey everyone, and welcome back to the final video of A Story About My Uncle. So last time we were partway through the ice caves, and we took a little break here at Fred's campsite to warm up, I guess.
As you do.
Mm-hmm. But now it's time to keep moving.
Got those good rocket boots back.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of strange that you lost him for a few minutes.
Yeah. I think they just made those interior sections too easy, is the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of plot, storyline too.
This, I think, might be like one of the most
Oh,
well-hidden collectibles. It is in a weird spot.
Yeah.
Although
That's pretty wild.
you actually can see it from over there to the left. That's where we made the jump that broke the rocket boots.
Ah.
So if you happen to look in the right direction, you can see it.
I wouldn't have.
I would go back and try and get over here from there and see if you could skip that whole broken boot section. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be neat if you could. I don't know how you'd be able to do it, but...
With the rocket boots, obviously.
Uh-huh.
The rocket boots, which are broken.
No, that's before you break them.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what he's saying.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Look at this guy, just draining crystals everywhere you go.
Yeah, I start to show off a little bit in this video.
Finally.
Yeah, there's a bad guy in Stormlight Archives who, they're using these empowered crystals to, light their homes and, as a sign of wealth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they can drain the crystals to do, oh, Jesus. to, use their powers and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
They are making a TV series, was it? Or
Yeah, a production company bought the rights to all of his work, so we're going to see something. A TV show would make more sense, because it's a huge world.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general, TV shows seem to be making a lot more sense than movies for most things these days.
Yeah.
TV's good now.
There's so much of it.
Yeah, there really is.
And then I get overwhelmed and just go back to watch the same damn show that I've watched a million times.
Which show?
Usually it's something like Supernatural or something with long episodes that I can throw on in the background.
Futurama, I often go back to.
Simpsons, of course.
Mm-hmm. I like this hang glider. I have no idea how Fred found enough stuff to make it.
Well, that looks like one of the coverings of those cubes in the ceremonial room.
Yeah, that's right. It does.
So you could probably just grab something from there. So he also desecrated that room. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds bad when you put it that way.
I don't think that the letters seem that important. I ate your flies,
Well, they're
it's important to the person who wrote it.
Yeah, most cultures have a lot of sanctity around death, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, invisible ledge.
This was a weird thing that happened.
I thought he dropped all his flares.
Well, he dropped 2 boxes of them, so how many more must he have had?
Yeah, really?
Alright, so this section is very, very cool. There are places for you to land and recharge. But like I said, I'm having a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, till you get smoked with a stalactite.
Yes. Not all of them fall.
Okay, you go.
I think there might actually be an achievement for doing this whole part without touching the ground.
Look at this Spider-Man in here.
Yeah. Too cool for school.
Fred had come this way alone, too. I took some comfort in knowing that whatever problems I faced now, Fred would have faced them too, and beaten them. If he could do it, I could do it too.
This section here is really, really cool. It's another one that has like so many different ways you can go through it. There's like a ton of grappleable rocks. There are platforms to land on, but you don't have to land on them. There's enough stuff to get through without it. But I do have to land for a very special reason. I think this is the last collectible.
Ooh.
Oh no.
We did it.
There it is. Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked. All collectibles found.
The dopamine rush.
There's a whale down there.
Whoa.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not. I just thought it was a rock.
I thought at first it was a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. But apparently one of the developers, the writer, has said that originally they wanted, in Starhaven, big clouds, and they would have these sky whales that were swimming through the clouds. But they couldn't get it working. So instead they added it to this level as a reference for scale, just how big the cave is.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't waste all the artwork that went into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whales are alright. You know, it is kind of crazy that, like, the largest animal that ever lived on Earth is, like, something that exists now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, with the blue whale, right?
Yeah, true. What are we looking at?
This is our way forward, but there's nothing to grapple on.
Leap of faith.
A real leap of faith.
These crystals, like, that you're draining are, like, bigger than the massive crystals that the other people found, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, they had that statue plinth type thing for the greatest crystal that was definitely smaller than these.
Yeah. Wasn't it like the first crystal though?
No, it was the greatest.
Ha. Maybe I read greatest as first.
The caption underneath said, I think, found the 21st day of sky.
Yeah.
So there was a first in there.
Okay. Yeah, look at that. Look at all that whale meat.
Just taking
Get
a look at
on
the
it.
whale again.
Yeah. Blow it up with dynamite.
Almost screwed up there on like the last jump in the game.
That would have been hilarious.
I don't think I would have left it in if I actually did that.
It was dark all around me, but there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Hello? Nephew?
Uncle Fred, I finally found him.
My little boy. I'm glad to see you. And you're wearing the suit I made you. But how can you be here?
I said that I found the suit in his workshop and that I came looking for him.
I'm sorry for being away for so long. But I've been busy down here, you see. The frog people. That was an experiment of mine. Do you remember the eggs I found before? I sent them here by accident, and I had to follow. By the time I got here, they were already growing. These caves were empty before, but my experiment has made them full of life. I've conducted research on them and documented everything about them. And I built a new crystal-powered pad to be able to get back to my colleagues, show them how fantastic this all is.
I interrupted Fred and told him about Maddie, how we came all the way to Starhaven together. and that I had promised to ask him if he would go see her there.
Madeline. My little Maddie. I should have taken her to see Starhaven long ago. She was always so curious about the strays. Well, I left her. I wanted to protect her. Or rather, protect myself from losing her. I've changed my mind. I'm not going home. What does research or praise matter when I can be here with these creatures? They need me. And it's just as well. I don't trust this pad for more than one ride anyway. You need that ride.
I didn't want to go home, and I asked if I could stay with him and Maddie instead.
I'm sorry, nephew. As much as I enjoy having you here, you must go home. Explore the world on your own. Have your own adventures.
I reluctantly agreed to go home. I was going to miss my uncle.
I will miss you too. But I'm sure you'll do phenomenal on your own. And don't worry about me or Maddie. We'll be fine. The pad is yours, boy. When you're ready.
So we do have one last thing to take care of before we head home. These words that I have been showing but not translating.
Nephew.
Back in the sanctuary, we have denial.
I think it's a river.
Anger.
In the village, we have isolation.
Oh. I thought it was just steps of grief.
They are. Isolation is the odd one out. I'm not sure why it's included. Anger in the chasms. In Starhaven, we have, of course, bargaining. First half of the ice caves, depression. And then here at the end, we have acceptance.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, so definitely recognizable as the, what is it, Kubler-Ross model, the 5 stages of grief.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like how quickly Fred decided to stay. Oh, I was about to go home, but now I'm going to stay here forever.
Yeah, it's a pretty big decision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait, he called you son.
Yeah, so that's, I don't think, a thing. I think that's just colloquial.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cute ending.
Yeah, so the question becomes, what do you think the truth is here?
Probably that he died. Or he never came back, and the story is the nephew's stages of grief.
Right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't... yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have
Yeah.
those words just kind of randomly around the world.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole thing on whether that story is true or whether it's made up, the narrator telling his daughter is kind of the whole focal point.
Uh-huh.
And I have some stuff to say about that, but I actually want to wait until after because there is an epilogue.
Ooh.
Ben bought 420.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Yeah, they got some community help with localization and playtesting, I think.
Coffee Stain Studios. Great job.
The one really nice thing about games like this is they have short credits, as opposed to lots of games where they're 20 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, well done game, especially for like this small a team.
The end. Now, good night, sweetie.
Wait, Dad. Does that mean Fred is still there?
Who knows? That was the last time I saw him.
Don't you miss him?
I do, sometimes. But I don't worry about him, because I know that wherever he is, he's on his biggest adventure yet. Dear Fred, today I step into the lobby of your house for the last time. My daughter asked me to tell her about an adventure, and I came to think of you. Your house looks just like my mother and I left it years ago. After you'd gone, I was sure she was going to throw out all your stuff, but she just cleaned up. We made you a small memorial. For a while, I came here every day, just like I used to. Sometimes, I could even faintly hear your voice, calling from the observatory, asking me to get you this tool or that. I never told my mother about that day. I don't think she would have believed me. Can I believe it? After all these years? Uncle Fred, thanks to you, I have found an even greater adventure. Thank you. Love, your nephew.
Okay, so the epilogue kind of raises more questions as to whether the story is real or fiction, because there's no evidence walking through his house that points to it being real. The blackboard's wiped out, the pad, if it exists, is covered. There's no suit in the locker, so it kind of raises questions.
Yeah.
So originally, I always thought that the story was real, because during the epilogue he says, "I never told anyone about that day because no one would believe me."
That's what I was just going to say.
And that's not him telling the story, that is him writing a letter to his uncle. Also, writing the letter to the uncle is the same thing as the cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Just a cool detail there. So, on the Steam community forums of all places, there was a thread where people were talking about the story, and one of the people sent a message to the writer and said, "Hey, can you come in here and clear this up?" And she did. She actually came in and wrote this whole big post. So, apparently they originally intended the story to be real. The whole idea of the fiction was put in place later. But it is supposed to be a fiction, and sort of his story about, well, to sort of cover his uncle's death while still talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cool things about it is that the characters are direct foils. So Maddie is supposed to be the narrator, and where she wants to follow Fred and find Fred, it turns out what she actually needed was just a place to be herself. And Samuel, the elder in the village, is supposed to be his mother, who never wanted him to go on these adventures with his uncle, who wanted to keep him safe at home.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, this is a lot deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
It's a very cool little game, and like I know 6 videos is a lot shorter than the stuff I usually play, and this isn't the type of game I usually play, but it's just...
Uh-huh.
It was such a nice little game, I wanted to get some other people to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely very cool. Like, beautiful artwork and music, and now I'm feeling things, so...
Mission accomplished.
Great game, Coffee Stain Studios.
Also, congratulations, Steam, on having your first good forum thread.
Yeah, I can't even remember why I was looking through there. I think I was trying to find out if I'd missed any, like, of those words written anywhere.
Uh-huh.
And I just came across the thread about the story that had, like, a crazy number of replies compared to every other thread on there, so I took a look at it.
I'm still want to know about those boxes.
So I do think it was just intended to be like his letter to his uncle at the end. Or just do you mean the fact that they're out there floating?
Just that they're out there floating. I mean, I guess it makes a lot more sense now that it's all like messages to dead people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes a bit more sense in that context. But I want to know why the frog people were doing that. Also, how long have the frog people existed? Because that was a little inconsistent.
Yes, it doesn't really make any sense.
My impression was that time moves slower in this realm or whatever
Mm-hmm.
than in the regular world, and the frog people age like much, much faster.
Yeah, definitely got that, but
Yeah, I mean, there was the voice line where the narrator says that the dates don't make sense, considering how long he thought Fred had been away. But in Fred's notes, it was still only like a month and a half before they had the village built and everything, so yeah, it is hard to tell.
I think like the elder said, like mentioned about like the first to come,
Mm-hmm.
like, which made me think that like, you know, their second or third generation.
Yep, that would make sense.
Yeah, so that was also a little wild. What a heavy story to tell your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of a nice story.
Yeah.
Just when you start talking about the reality behind the story, it gets a little bit sad, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your uncle was a crank and he blew himself up in an experiment.
Right. So I guess
let's
that
speculate
is
how he did die.
a question about how he did die. There is a newspaper clipping in his house about an explorer dying. At the beginning, so if that was fiction, maybe that was how he died. I get the impression that he just took off and kind of disappeared. Just again, the thing at the end with sort of his memorial at his house and the way he's talking in the epilogue, it gives me the impression that he never quite got to say goodbye, and that was why it was in the story.
Mm-hmm.
That at the end he actually did get a chance to say goodbye. Anyway, really nice game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Glad I got to LP it, so thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next project.